What's the most important thing defending them?
High discipline and having discipline in your keys and what you do. When you draw things on the board, if you're doing it right, everything should be able to fit. Now we got to get the X's to execute what the X's are doing, and that's the biggest thing. I'm sure they're going to have wrinkles and things, and I'm sure they're going to make adjustments throughout the game to get their positions in better flanks, so to speak. And I hope that we can stay attached to that and stay ahead of it.
How do you feel like maybe the pre-preparation stage of the spring and looking at things and walkthroughs maybe has prepared you maybe a little bit better for this game?
Right. We spent some time on Army, which was not easy to do because we were changing everything as it was. And so we had a whole bunch of different terminology and things of just our base things, doing things differently. So then when we piled Army on top of that, I know that caused a little bit of chaos in the spring. Probably slowed us down just a little bit for a couple days while we were doing that. We spent a little bit of time on them again in the summer. But it's necessary. This is a really hard offense to prepare for in 4 days, and so I think we did a decent job of getting ahead of it.
What is your reaction as a DC when you see Army on the schedule? Is it just a headache, or what's it like?
I know somebody had an off day somewhere scheduling, but and it's not only the style of offense, but they're really well coached in what they do. They're going to be physical. You're going to come out of this game sore, and but it is what it is. And I think if you are what you hope that you are, it doesn't matter if you're seeing triple option or air raid or whatever name your fancy. You should be able to defend it.
After the game on Saturday, Chris mentioned that the worst part was eye discipline.
Mm-hmm.
So is this a bad time to play Army or a perfect time to play Army?
I'm liking to think of it as the latter. I think it's a good time to play Army because there wasn't anything that happened on Saturday that our guys weren't capable of doing. And I think guys get keyed up. They want to do too much. They let themselves drift out of doing their job, try to do somebody else's job, and in turn screw their own up. And you're not going to be able to do that against Army. That's how they make their hay. So guys got to be dialed into what they're doing. The other thing about Army is the call card isn't going to be as big as it typically is. You know, wherever you might carry 30 different concepts into a game, you can't do that against Army. You just won't be able to fit everything up. So I'm hoping that it's a great wake-up call, what happened last week for our guys, to be able to time this one out perfectly.
Is this a game where first down becomes real important to kind of throw them off schedule?
You've got to get them in second and longs, and you've got to get them in third down and longs if you want to have some success. If they're able to go, that's what's the most nerve-wracking thing is if they're 2nd and 7, 3rd and 4, 4th and 1, you're gonna end up with 20-play drives. And so you've got to find a way to get them in 2nd and 8. You've got to find them a way to get them in 3rd and 8 because even 3rd and 4, if they get down to 4th and 2, 4th and 3, they're probably going to go. Everything is 4 downs for these guys. And so we got to do some things to get those guys off schedule. And sometimes that might be moving and blitzing and whatever. And sometimes it might just be playing base football and getting some good knockback.
How do you think Gunnar Maldonado is progressing in the defense right now?
I think he's for starters, Gunnar's really smart. Gunnar's very sharp. It was unfortunate that he got very little fall camp in. He didn't get cleared, I don't think, until maybe the Wednesday or Tuesday before the Iowa State game. So his practice opportunities haven't been that much. And I know at Iowa State he played a dozen snaps or so, and he was maybe a little rusty. He wasn't involved in a whole lot. We played him probably double that this past week. And I think if you asked him, he'd be disappointed in how he played on Saturday. But he's had an awesome week of practice. I trust him totally with his eyes and that stuff. I trust his maturity and the pictures that he sees. So I think he's progressing very well. And I think by the time we get into the meat of the schedule, he's going to be a big factor in what we're doing.
Anything else?
Anything else you're really challenging the guys to do this week?
We've got to play with better urgency and intensity. We can't feel things out. We don't have time. And I know we got off the first series of the last game, but the second series they went down and scored. And I think when you're playing a team like this, possessions are going to be very valuable. And so if we're slow starters and we're in a tie game or we're losing or whatever, it's going to put a lot of pressure on both sides of the ball. So we've got to get out of the gate quickly and play and get stops so that our offense can have a chance to work. And hopefully we can get ahead a little bit and stay there.